Gearbox, Love Below. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Come on, you assholes. They called Z by My Morning Jacket number 31.
Okay, that's fucked up.
You fucking pieces of shit.
The list sucks, man.
And Radiohead in Rainbows is only number 30.
Wow.
The fuck?
One listener on YouTube already. Who is that? Who's that?
Rex probably.
Is it
Is
Rex,
that Rex?
probably? Yeah. Rex is still awake. He's still texting
Here
me.
we go.
So.
Here we go.
All right.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Bonus.
Bonus. I'm sorry. I was trying to do like a Jay Dilla thing right there where you were saying bonus and I was saying bonus. Bonus.
This list sucks.
I'm so sorry.
We might as well just fucking have recorded that on GarageBand and release it on SoundCloud because that's the hottest track of 2021.
I don't know about that.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
This list sucks. I'm JB.
I'm Mike.
Thank you for joining us again. This is a bonus episode.
Yeah.
Mr. Riley Rath is joining us again from the main episode. Thanks, Riley, for being here.
Booyah.
Glad to be here.
This is a bonus episode, which means we're talking about a snub.
Yeah.
Is
Snubby.
it a snub though?
Snubby.
We're talking about a potential snub. So that's the
Fuck.
thing is like this is the thing to understand
Really?
with these snub episodes. Well, I don't mean with this specific one.
Okay.
Is that we're talking the snub episodes are potential snubs. So we're not necessarily asserting that the snubs belong on the list. We're assessing throughout the episode whether or not they do.
Eat shit. This is a fucking snub.
Wow, that was weird.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so so tonight on the bonus episode, we are going to briefly discuss. I say briefly as a joke at this point because that fucking main episode was it was a hog.
It was nearly 3 hours.
God damn, it was a hog.
It was about the length of a Lord of the Rings movie.
Thank you.
Oh god.
we did the fellowship of the list.
Yeah, we did. Dude, and next week's going to be the Four Towers.
Yeah, next week is going to be the Four Towers. Yeah. So on this snub, we're talking about the 2006 album from Justin Timberlake, FutureSex, LoveSounds, which we talked about with Heather briefly last week. Like Heather and I were talking about it before, and so it just kind of organically became something that we need to talk about. Now, in preparation of this, and I definitely want to go through this because I think there's just going to be superlative after superlative from all of us with this because we've been talking about it a little bit beforehand. And even Riley's like, yeah, I fucking listened to this album, 6 times?
No, that was
I've listened to the one song When It Comes Around Goes Around like maybe 1,000 times.
Right? Because it's brilliant. It's super brilliant. And so I was really, really familiar with this album. JB, have you heard this? I mean, because you sent a text message to me earlier in the week where you're like, holy fuck, dude. I didn't even realize how many great songs are on this album.
well, so here's the thing is like I'd listened to a lot of these songs in singularity, like
As singles.
but I didn't necessarily realize that they were all on one fucking piece of music or piece of art
I have
yeah,
the same
in the
thing.
form of an album. You know what I mean? So we'll get further into this, but that was kind of like the first half of this record. I was just like, holy shit, just song after song after song. And like everyone is good in the first half there for sure. So
Ooh.
what? No, I mean,
Ooh.
yeah. Actually, that's where we're going.
So you
But-
fucking hate the second half of this album, huh?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything,
Why?
but
That's what we're talking about. We're already here.
You're right. You're already here. So
We arrived.
I think the first half of this album is super strong, and I feel like
Set the mood until the end of time. What'd you say about it?
didn't love it at all.
Fuck you. What?
I thought it was fine. Like the
Really?
straight up through what goes around comes around with track number 6 of 12.
Damn,
And
girl.
Chop Me Up is pretty good.
Girl.
It's good.
Damn,
It's fine.
girl.
It's good.
Damn, girl. Really?
I feel like they could have done a lot more with a Will.i.am feature.
See,
You're not a big Black Eyed Peas fan?
Admittedly, no.
It's okay. But I feel like they could have done more there. And yeah, so that was kind of my general consensus personally. Was
What
like
about Summer Love?
yeah, it sounds a little my notes on that were that it sounds a little too like stereotypical early 2000s pop. Almost sounds like boy bandy kind of stuff. It almost hails back to like Justin's early days, you know.
Dude,
Aw.
it sounds like early 2000s pop because that like was early 2000s pop.
Well, this is kind of late 2000s pop. But
Well, what about the boom bop?
yeah, I don't know.
Wait,
Maybe
okay,
not for
then
me.
let's fucking take a step back then. Because so much of like seminal hip hop, even like we just got done talking about Jay Dilla. That fucking Jay Dilla record was jam-packed with boom bop, right?
What do you mean by boom bop? Maybe I'm not sure what you mean.
Boom bop. Like the beat that gives you that like boom bop type of sound.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you
No,
say
I mean
that,
it really
yeah.
it really
Yeah.
is, right? Like it's
Like Boots and Cats kind of thing.
no, not like Boots and Cats. No,
Boots,
like
Cats, Boots.
yes,
Boom,
Yes.
bop,
but it's like
boom,
boom
bop,
bop, boom bop, boom.
Yeah,
bop.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that Jay Dilla record was a love note to boom bop. I would argue in either the beats that he was creating or the beats that he was sampling. And to me, that's summer love. Man, that's summer love. It's rife with that.
And that was probably the one that I liked the most in
On
the
the back
latter
end.
half. And like that's kind of what I wrote. And just to reiterate, like kind of stereotypical early 2000s pop, little boy bandy, but a super catchy hook, undoubtedly, you know,
Mhm.
on that one for sure, on Summer Love. But for me, the first half of this album is so fucking good. And like, I don't want to detract because I feel like we jumped right into what I didn't like, which was like the latter half. But I
Yeah.
loved the first half of this, like
Do
a
you-
lot.
Do you think the first half of this justifies placement on this list somewhere?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Especially considering a lot of the other albums that are on the list and some of the other snubs. I think that the first half of this is so good. Like FutureSex, Love Sound, incredible tune. Sexy Back is maybe one of the best club songs like ever written.
Mm, mm, mm,
It's
mm,
up there.
Yeah.
mm, mm, mm.
When I think of club sounds, I can't think of one that I personally like more than that. You know, Sexy Ladies right after that had that slap bass guitar in it, kind of like
Fucking
analog.
bass line
and
was ripping, right?
yeah, great vocals, kind of like a driving, slow driving funk kind of feel to it. There's a lot of funk in the first half of this. In the latter half, it was not as much funk.
So Daryl Pearson, mad shout out because he was the bass player on Sexy Ladies, and that bass line fucking makes that song.
It slaps, dude.
Yeah,
it
I mean
slaps.
it's really, really fucking great. But then at the same time, like the lyrics and what JT is doing over the top of that, and that song absolutely crushes.
And then medley, Let Me Talk to You, My Love, with that fucking falsetto, dude. Write you a symphony, dude. On the regular. So fucking good, dude. That song is
fucking crushes.
that song is incredible.
Yeah, I know.
Love Stoned, dude. First of all, even just the lyrical idea. How has nobody thought of that before? What like a clever play on Love Drunk. You know what I mean? Love Stoned. It's great. Like I wrote down like I can't believe nobody's thought of that shit.
It's like a modern day version of Love and Cup.
Yeah, I get
Right?
that
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's like a popped out version of Love and Cup.
And then, so we were talking about this a little bit before, but like a lot of these are kind of medleys, like mashups almost. Like
Mhm.
he's written 2 songs. In the latter half of that, you get the symphony plus
Yeah.
beatboxing. Like how often do you ever get a legit like fucking symphony with a guy beatboxing? That's
With-
never combined together.
So
you know?
that's Justin Timberlake on the beatbox,
plus,
and that's Justin Timberlake doing the guitar through that whole song.
yeah,
Which the guitar is nothing special.
but it's good. It's fine. It fits what's going on.
It's a nice compliment to everything else that's happening.
Plus the symphony,
the strings, dude. Did you take
there
a
was
look
a huge personnel list. Is that what you're gonna say?
You. Yeah. Yes, I knew that. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
That was like a veritable symphony. There's no way. I mean, it was like 50 people or something. You know,
it may have been more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a list so fucking long that on my phone I'm scrolling and I just kept scrolling because it's like violin, viola, fucking string bass, double bass. Like it was the whole 9 yards.
Turns out it pays to have Justin Timberlake's budget. You know
Apparently.
what I mean? Yeah.
And if you look at those same credits, I mean, in theory, they credit Justin Timberlake with basically directing that orchestral fucking collection.
I didn't catch that part. That's awesome.
Let me fact check myself.
I'm sure you're right on that, but
probably not.
So what was that instrument at the beginning of What Goes Around Comes Around? It almost sounds like sitar, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like super twangy. It sounds kind of like a sitar, but not quite all the way sitar.
I don't know what else it would be.
I almost think it's the synth, though. To be really honest with you,
it's probably some kind of.
Well, you can kind of make anything sound like anything with a synth. It's the tricky thing. What is it?
Christ. All right, so I jumped onto Wikipedia, and I'm not looking at this on my phone. This is the first time I'm looking at it on my laptop. And when you jump to the personnel section for this record, it literally breaks it up into 2 columns on your laptop, and it won't even fit on a single screen. Like you have to continue to scroll down through. And so the credits that it gives to Justin Timberlake is lead and background vocals, guitar on track 5, additional beatbox track 5, keyboards on track 9, choral arrangement and director is only on track 11. And so that's just the choir. Right.
So he directed the choir, but not the strings.
That's exactly right.
It's a whole different skill to direct the strings. So you can't. And honestly, whatever symphony he picked for this probably doesn't need directing.
Shout out to David Campbell. David Campbell was the conductor and string arrangements on All Over Again, which was the last track on track 12. Contractor, concertmaster, violin, that's another guy. We'll see. Conductor and string arrangements on 5, 6, 11. So that's where you get What Goes Around Comes Around, and that was Larry Gold.
The LoveSounds as well.
Yeah. So shout out to fucking Larry Gold because he smashed that. And then just the sheer number of violins, cellos, flutes, fucking more violins, violas. It's fucking monster. I mean, an absolute monster list of personnel.
Yeah. And then track 6, What Goes Around Comes Around, like that's one of the most incredible like pop clubby hooks that I've ever heard, for sure. What goes around, goes around, goes around, goes around, comes back around.
It's almost 8 minutes too.
Dude,
there's
so
long.
many songs that are long on this album.
Yes. And Riley, you and I were talking about this during our break too. So many of these songs, like the concept of a double album, super familiar with everybody, right? Like we just did Todd Rundgren, you know, and Todd Rundgren, what was it? Something Anything, I think was the name of that Todd Rundgren album.
Exactly.
A double album, right? So, I made so much material. Well, fuck it. I'll just release it as one. But this is really 2 records. Justin Timberlake has done this with almost every song on this album. Only he's done it on a song standpoint, right? Because so many of these songs, the first 2.5, 3 minutes are one song, but then it seamlessly shifts and brilliantly seamlessly shifts into basically a second song.
And you have to think he did that intentionally because like whatever ideas he had musically, he thinks that they were greater for having been put together.
To be put together.
What I mean?
Yeah. And there was some reading that I did. I don't know how deep you dug into the reading on this, but there was some parts of this that I was reading that I got the impression that there was kind of a long gap between his previous album and this album.
Huge gap. He had a bit of a writer's block.
Yeah. And it sounded to me like when he started working with Timbaland, which he worked with Timbaland this entire album. And granted, this is a Justin Timberlake album, but you could almost call this a Justin Timberlake and Timbaland type of album because Timbaland
It
had
feels
a head,
like that because he sings on like half
a
or
lot
more,
of them.
you know?
Yeah, and he produced everything, right? So Timbaland is all over this album. And what I was reading was that a lot of this album, yes, there was this writer's block. And so they started kind of shifting around. And basically, Timbaland would start to produce something. And if it would spawn a decent idea, they would just let that idea run a little bit more. And maybe that's why you're getting all of these kind of double song type of concepts that are getting mixed into a lot of this album.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
definitely does.
Yeah. What was your favorite track? What goes around comes around?
My favorite track was I have a tie between What Goes Around Comes Around and Sexy Back. Sexy Back is so fucking good. Like, and it's, again, it's a basic bitch, it's a basic bitch answer, but that track is so amazing. Like, there's just no way around it. That is, like I said, one of the best club songs ever written. And then like, but you know, it's more than that. Like even the latter half of that tune, like they get that guitar riff that's like, dun, 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 you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's almost like an Eastern type of melody.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
I love it. It's fucking great.
I do too. And I'm not going to disagree with you. Like I was goading you into talking about maybe what you hated the most of this album, just to try to create controversy. Because
We can do that because there is that.
there is
present.
that. I mean, listen, let's be honest. Jay Dilla and Girl Talk are the same thing. So
Jesus
with that
fucking
being
Christ. But yeah, I mean, like honestly, for me, after track 6, it got weak.
I kind of agree. A little bit.
Weak.
I mean, Summer Love is a good single. It gets a lot more.
Summer Love is
like,
decent.
ballady in the second half, and I'm not really about ballads.
See, and I agree with you, Riley. You're spot on. The second half of it, you start to get after Summer Love, you really have 3 ballads in a row.
No.
And one of them is fucking horrendously bad.
You're talking about Losing My Way.
Holy fuck, dude.
So Losing My Way is like,
holy fuck.
so I like kind of tried to like it. That's
No,
the one
you
that's
didn't.
like, hi, my name is Bob.
You're a lying motherfucker, dude.
No, because the one thing that's good, it's a good message. It's like a good anti-drug kind
Fuck
of
you.
message.
Go fuck yourself.
That's a
You
stupid
know what?
message.
You know what? You're right because I'm
Go
I'm
fuck
trying
yourself.
to say something good about it.
No, you're not.
But
but
no,
what
I am trying to
I
say
know.
something good, but it's like it's cringe worthy.
it's fucking ridiculous, dude. It's Justin Timberlake literally talking about how he's smoking crack and making $30 a day.
Bob is Bob.
No, Justin Timberlake is.
He's playing Bob though.
Oh, is he?
He says, "Hi, my name is Bob."
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
How many crackheads have you met named Bob? A lot.
I mean, of all the crackheads that I know,
Most of them are named Bob.
yeah,
Yeah.
far and away, yeah.
Listen,
But
it doesn't fucking work, dude.
it doesn't work at all. Honestly, like I wrote, like I said, I was trying. I really was because I give Justin Timberlake a lot of respect. He's a great musician. I think he's a really funny guy too, just in general. You know, he's like
He's
Well-
an SNL fucking genius. He's
Dude,
an
he's a funny guy.
SNL legend at this point in time.
I was like trying to write good things. I was like, you know what? I guess it's good to have like the anti-crack message. Crack is bad, you know. But I was like, it's really, it comes across super cheesy. He's way too literal.
It
How
just
about
doesn't
this?
fit in. Like, who puts an anti-drug song on a club?
But
music
especially
record?
such a literal anti-drug record.
Well, and it's not just, I love that because this isn't a club record. I mean, it is. You can play this in a club, but really, this is I'm Justin. What's your name again? Oh, yeah, let's fuck.
Yeah,
That's what this whole
that's true.
record is. Every single one of these
And then
lyrics.
it's like, hey, I'm addicted to crack and my life is falling apart. My family has kicked me out.
I'm kind of sorry that we met in this club and we were grinding on each other and we ended up fucking because really my name is Bob and I'm a crackhead.
So bad for you.
Because this is the end of the night, even, right?
Yeah, this is the second to last tune.
This is the end of the night.
I have to think that Justin was
He's
just like,
I'm so sorry I lied to you. I'm a crackhead.
I have to think that Justin was just like, listen, guys, there's no fucking way anyone's listened to the last half of this record.
The top of this slaps so hard, guys. It's all right.
He's like,
let's
fuck
put
it.
that
We can just
crackhead
do whatever.
song.
We can fuck around. Like, we can make a joke and no one's ever going to hear it in the second half.
Okay. Don't ever listen to Losing My Way because it's fucking terrible.
All Over Again was good, though. The last track.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a club banger.
No, it was like a soul tune.
It was like a crooner.
I thought that was a good way to
Yeah, it was like a soulful ballad.
Yeah.
Good piano, nice little acoustic guitar fills. It was a good
I'm so
closer.
glad to hear you say that because
Yeah.
I loved the way that he ended it. And like to me, there wasn't a better way to end this because it was almost a throwback to what everybody expected from Justin Timberlake. Because I don't think going into this album, people were like, oh yeah, the next Justin Timberlake album is going to be this ridiculously insane club banger. I don't think anybody expected that. I think that they probably expected more of All Over Again. In fact, if he would have delivered an entire record of that, I don't think anybody would have been upset by it. But the fact that he worked with Timbaland and he created this just monster fucking record filled with heavy bass, big giant beats, insanely memorable hooks to close it with that. I loved
Infectious hooks. Are you very familiar with his record before this?
Justified.
Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
No. I wouldn't say that I'm intimately familiar with it. No.
What did he do before that? Do you know?
In Sync.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So
Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Are you really?
I listen to a lot of NSYNC.
Okay, so
Fuck you.
No.
Are you being serious?
I was in third
Yes.
grade,
No,
man.
he's not being. He's totally being serious because that's what was cool when me and
you
him
guys
were
were
kids.
little kids.
When you were
I
in third
fucking
grade.
saw NSYNC live.
Fuck you.
I saw NSYNC live at the Hilton Coliseum.
Dude,
Your
in
dad
Ames.
took you to an
My
NSYNC show?
mom.
Okay, thank God. Because I was gonna fucking give your dad all kinds of grief.
Ben would never go to an NSYNC.
I liked NSYNC as did every kid in
Yeah.
third grade at
Undoubtedly.
the Johnson High School.
Dude,
Every
bye,
single
bye,
kid. What?
bye, bye, bye.
Yeah, bye. It's gonna be May. It's gonna be May. You know, and so I went to see, and honestly, it was fucking dope. And you know who opened?
No.
Smash Mouth.
Oh my god.
Somebody
the best thing I've ever
once
heard.
told me.
Saw it live.
I would lose
No!
my fucking mind if I was in third grade and I saw that shit.
I saw all those tunes live. I saw that one. I
Dude.
saw when the morning comes or whatever it's called.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Today, after I picked up Victoria from school, we dropped off a kid that I also pick up, Grayson Smith, wonderful young man.
Sounds like
Victoria and I went to Costco to do our shopping. And as we're walking around in Costco, we're talking about Shrek because I couldn't get out of my head that line from Shrek where John Lithgow's character keeps going, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" And so as he's interrogating
the Muffin Man.
Yes, he's interrogating
Who lives on Drury Lane?
he's interrogating the gingerbread man
Yep.
on that rack or whatever.
Yeah. I've
And I
seen
just
it.
kept
Yeah.
walking, like I had that trapped in my head. And so Victoria goes, "Man, Dad, we should really watch Shrek. You know, can we watch it tonight?" "No, I can't watch it tonight. I got to go do the podcast." "Well, how about tomorrow?" "Yes, I will absolutely watch the first Shrek movie with you tomorrow." And then, of course, the first Shrek movie leads us to Somebody once told me
the world is gone. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't I got about that far, and then Victoria was like remembering the lyrics herself with the girl standing with the shape of an L
on her forehead. Yeah, dude, I saw that tune live. But honestly, the
Mind-blowing.
NSYNC show was dope. I gotta be honest with you. They came down. They were walking through the fucking rafters. Like they had this whole fucking situation where they weren't
in a hot dog.
No, they weren't. They were not in a hot dog, but they had this like walkway through the rafters of the ceiling and they came down from up there, and it was
That's ridiculous.
super intense. And when they came down, they were like, "Bye, bye, bye." I was like, you know what I mean? At the age of 7 or whatever I was, at the time.
So then,
How old are you in 3rd grade? I don't remember.
8 and 9.
Yeah, 8, 9, something like that.
That's what I was. Yeah.
So then this, like, you've got to kind of love this, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot different, but
Sure.
it's not that just because it was what I was into when I was in the 3rd grade doesn't mean that now I still love it, though.
You don't get any nostalgia from that?
If we listened to NSYNC, I would get some nostalgia.
Dude, if Bye 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 came on right now, I would be like hyped for it.
I would be like taking my shirt off and shit. Yeah. But but just with this, I mean, the first half I dig, but the latter half is not relatable in terms of comparison to NSYNC, in my opinion.
No. And that's fair.
Well, no,
I
because
get it.
you know what? Summer Love kind of is, though. Summer Love sounds kind of like
Yeah, I can see
an early NSYNC song.
I listen, I have I have zero familiarity with NSYNC. Absolutely
Really?
zero. Yeah.
Yeah, you're after that, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Now this album, I'd like tons of it because when this album was on, I listened to it a lot when it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was, yeah.
Yeah, when it was a thing. And I remember, like I said, I'm not super familiar with Justified because that wasn't any type of cultural touchstone at the time.
Yeah.
But man, this record was, it was really fucking hot in
At
2006.
this point in 2006, I was not listening to this kind of stuff.
No, me either.
It's probably like I probably met you right around that time, right? Maybe like a year after that, maybe
Yeah, we would have been in
2007. But like I was like at that point, I was like into like punk rock, and I was not gonna be listening to this kind of shit.
Were you listening to Green Day?
I was listening to Green
American
Day.
Idiot.
Yeah, big time. And
Good
I was
album,
not going to
man.
be fucking caught dead listening to this. So like,
That's fair.
Yeah.
that's how it was. We were listening to like Coheed and
Coheed and
Oh, Coheed and
Cambria,
Cambria.
and we were listening to
Jesus.
Green Day, and
Yeah, you
listening
got
to
hardcore.
we were listening to emo was really big in that
Yeah.
time. So we're listening to like
My Chemical
Hawthorne
Romance.
Heights, My Chemical Romance, from first to last. You know that band?
No.
You do know that band actually, because the guy that was the lead singer in that band is Skrillex.
what the heck?
Did you know that?
fucking
No.
way.
Yeah, so there's this like
Really?
emo band called From First to Last that I used to go see when I was like in high school,
And that's
and then
Skrillex.
he went on to become Skrillex, the
Wow.
lead
Wow.
singer from that band. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah,
Now, granted, I listened to all the singles, and there were like 6 singles off this record. I remember
Yeah.
every single one of those singles, and I remember this was one of the first pop records that I admitted I really enjoyed. Because up until this point in time, like there's no fucking way. I mean, just like you're saying, I wouldn't be caught dead listening to this.
yeah.
This is 2006. Lateralis from Tool came out in 2001, and that was a huge record for me. And I was still listening to metal, and probably 2001 is when I really first started getting into Fish too.
Yeah.
Because I was in college and I was living with serious heads, and so like I was starting to get into more jam music then too, but I was listening to a lot of hip hop at the time. I mean, I listened to a lot of everything except pop music,
Yeah.
because I just felt like it was just commercial shit.
It wasn't cool.
No, it wasn't fucking cool at all. But man, this album, yeah,
It seems cool now, right?
it felt cool to me then too.
Really?
Justin Timberlake just is cool. On this
He's
album.
that's the
is.
thing is Justin Timberlake, and not that any of the other members of NSYNC are still cool, but for some reason Justin Timberlake still seems cool. You know what I mean?
I really feel like that's the SNL effect. Like if you replaced Losing My Way
and the Jimmy Fallon effect. you
yeah,
know?
if you replace Losing My Way with Dick in a Box, this has to be top 100.
Dude, so that's kind of what that was kind of my thinking. That's funny. That yeah. But like Losing My Way sounds like a Lonely Island song. Almost. Doesn't
Like
it?
an ironic.
Like an ironical Lonely Island song.
Like a silly fucking ironic. No, really, I'm a crackhead type
Dude,
song.
like if they released that, changed nothing. like you might like
Just change the name.
zero things.
Yeah.
Like
But-
you might like
but the name.
you'd be like, that's hilarious. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. If you just added Andy Samberg on there, I would think it was hilarious.
If you simply have Andy Samberg like sing one fucking line or something, like yeah.
Hey, yo, man, I'll suck your dick.
I'll suck your dick for crack. Yeah. It's gonna be like a top 10 comedy.
Okay. Snub.
That's a good question. So what's your opinion, Mike?
Yeah, for me, this is a fucking huge snub. It's a huge snub for me.
This is a tough one for me because like like I said, up until track 6, I would have been like, and I texted you about track 4,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, dude,
This album
this
is
is a
hot.
fucking heater.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
like,
and
this
then
thing
like
is hot.
Yeah. And then like it sizzled down from there.
Aw.
I hate to say it, but you know what? Just you considering a lot of you got Bad Bunny on this list. So I would put this on there. in
Let's talk about
place.
this. So, definitely the final 100 between 400 to 500. It's insane to me that this album doesn't make it in there. And here's the thing. Rolling Stone has every fucking list you can possibly imagine. All right.
Yeah,
They have a
that's
list for
yeah.
everything,
Let's get into this.
including a list for the best 100 albums of the 2000s.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So, number 1 on that list of the best 100 albums of the 2000s, Radiohead Kid A. Probably going to be on the list.
Probably.
Let's jump to number 5, The White Stripes, Elephant.
Probably
Already
going to be on the list.
already seen on this list.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would-
Elephant we
yeah.
did already get.
That was
yeah.
449. That was the very first episode that Justin was a
That's
guest
number
on.
5.
That's number 5 out of the best
5. Wait, let's
Best
make it clear. You're
album.
saying 5
number. That's the 5th best album of the 2000s.
because you're going to get albums that are way later.
And it popped at 449, right? The 6th best album of the 2000s, according to Rolling Stone, is Arcade Fire's Funeral. Do you remember when we've seen that?
It's the last
500.
one.
Fucking 500. Mr. Insignificant. Okay. Number 9, Kala by MIA.
450.
Doesn't appear on the list.
Is that the one with?
Oh, is that the okay? So which one? Paper Plane, Arular.
That is Paper Planes.
Arular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the
Arular.
follow up to that one. Yeah.
Number 12, LCD Sound System, Sound of Silver. 439. Jay-Z, The Black Album. Fuck. Stankonia by Outkast, number 16. Oh.
Those will probably be all on there.
Number 23 is an album by D'Angelo. Do you want to know what the name of it is?
Brown Sugar,
Voodoo.
which we learned today is 28.
On the-
20 fucking 8 on
on
the
the
albums of all time. Should we say it together? Of all time. Fucking the greatest albums of all time.
Number 27 on this list is Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots by the Flaming Lips.
No fucking way. Is it really?
Is that not on the?
There's no
Big
Flaming
list.
Lips
There is
on the list at
no
all.
fucking Flaming Lips whatsoever
That's
on this
tragic.
list.
There's not even mentioned.
That's like super.
They're not
bad.
even like a side note.
Number 31, Z.
By My Morning Jacket. Also, no My Morning Jacket on the list whatsoever.
None.
No.
Absolutely none whatsoever. So then, listen, I'm skipping a lot
You should
because
be,
some of
yeah.
these are going to be on here. So Justin Timberlake, this particular album, they're calling the 46th best album of the 2000s, but it doesn't fucking appear on this list.
But what's after that?
Fleet Foxes, number 49, Fiona Apple, Extraordinary Machine.
Which is on the list.
At
So
number-
let's be very clear. This album is after Justin Timberlake on the best album of the 2000s, yet it does appear on the best album, the top 500 albums of all time, and Justin Timberlake does not. So there's no logic there. whatsoever.
Absolutely none. And now I'm going back up to the top 50. They call Bon Iver
Absolutely
Fuck you.
disgusting.
forever ago.
Fuck you.
The 92nd best album of the 2000s.
You're not calling it that, right?
I'm just telling you what Rolling Stone thinks.
I'm sorry. I get triggered when you say Bon Iver.
Yeah.
They say that Brian Wilson's Smile is the 88th best album of the 2000s.
That's on the list.
Sure is. And it's fucking north of 400.
It is.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Because we just went through that album.
Yeah.
Listen, where we're going with this, fairly successfully, I would argue, is that with Rolling Stone, they have so many fucking lists that at the end of the day, what they've created is a set of lists that have absolutely no consistency. So Arular by MIA, which is one that we covered in between 400 and 450. I want to say it was like 420, 418, something like that. They called that the 52nd best album of the 2000s. So
MIA has 2 albums on that list.
Yeah. Arular at 52 and Kala, which has Paper Planes on it.
Higher up.
Way fucking higher up.
Which does not
But it's
appear on
not
the
on
best
the-
of all time.
Not on the list at all.
There's not a lot of go finish what you were saying.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It is
absurd,
absurd.
that you don't have any congruity.
And I just want to
between-
point out like the cop-out response that is going to be said to that. And again, like I'm saying, this is a fucking cop-out response. I don't feel this way. But the response that's going to be said is, oh, these albums were more influential in their time than they were for all time. But again, I don't agree with that. But that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, you know what, Justin Timberlake, he was more influential in the 2000s specifically, but not in the spectrum of all time. But I disagree, because I think that if he was influential in the 2000s, then he was influential in all time. But again, that I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's what the response would be if you were to criticize directly the people that made the list and they were to respond. That's what they would probably say.
That
Don't-
doesn't work anyway, though, because they put Smile after JT on.
And
the
again,
2000
like I
list.
said, cop out. And I'm not, that's not my feeling personally at all. You know, it's a cop out.
This list was created in July of 2011
Yeah.
versus a list that was created in September.
So you have to
of
give them that. Like
2020.
things change.
I
Like
mean, yeah,
opinions change.
they had
People
very
change.
different like editorial departments and stuff. Then probably too.
Certainly. Yeah.
They should like check those kind of things.
They should fact check
And that's-
themselves a little bit.
Thank you,
yeah.
Riley. Like that's my only beef would be, does Rolling Stone change over time? Yes. Does the editorial board change over time? Yes. Should you see dramatic fucking changes between albums? Because a little, and you could argue that a decade is not a little bit of time. I would say in the pantheon of what we're trying to put together, the greatest 500 albums of all time,
Then it is a little bit of time.
10 years is only a little bit of time, you know? So should we see these dramatic shifts in albums that we're saying are really, really good 10 years ago, but now they're not so good? I don't know. And how about the fact that you're putting albums in, especially in the back 50, think Harry Styles, think,
Lord,
Lord, Melodrama. What was the other one that was in like the top? There was another one that was really, really recent in the top, like the last 10.
Taylor Swift.
No, but there was one that was contemporary to Harry Styles. There was
Oh,
was
Billie Eilish.
yeah, fucking well, and fucking Billie Eilish is 398,
Yeah, I saw it.
and that album's been out for a fucking year,
Yeah,
2.5, like a year and a half.
yeah.
Come on. Like that seems insane. It seems insane to me to think that 10 years has passed since they generated this list and now they're saying, whoa, we fucked this list up. You know what I mean? Like this list is really bad.
Hey, do you
And
mean
yet-
do you mean they were thinking like, hey, This list sucks, guys.
You gotta throw that one in on every episode, huh?
They're like, God damn, this list sucks.
Yeah, we do have to throw it
gotta
in every
change this
episode,
shit up.
Riley. That's the fucking name of
It
the
is
podcast.
the name of the podcast. It helps from a branding standpoint. I'm just gonna say.
Speaking of that, we're gonna get Yetis. So
Yeah.
just throw out for the future. If anybody likes Yeti mugs, which I assume everybody does,
Everybody.
we're gonna get some This List Sucks Yetis, and we're gonna sell them. So
If you're interested, send us an email just so that way we can get an idea of how many people might want a Yeti with This List Sucks. And we're also going to try to come up with some t-shirts and stuff like that too.
that's gonna come too, yeah.
Yeah, very soon. Some merch. Merch is heading your way.
And so if you want to send us an email, do that at thislistsucks@gmail.com.
Dude, we fucked up
Good
on the last
segue.
episode.
It's okay. Yeah.
Oh well.
We assume you're listening to the bonus episode too. Most of you guys don't. Noted. I'm just kidding. But
They're like, those assholes are a hot mess by the time they do a bonus episode. Fuck them.
But yeah, that's a valid complaint. But thislistsucks@gmail.com or hit us up at anchor.fm//thisListSucks. Send us a voice message because we will play it,
And we love 'em.
regardless of what it is.
Unless you're racist.
Minus racist shit. Yeah. Exactly.
We won't air racist shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap this up because the other episode was so ridiculously long.
This is already pretty long.
Having listened to it, does it belong on the list?
Yeah, I think it does. Especially considering a lot of the other records that are on there. I think it belongs there in the bottom 40.
Okay, so 460 to 500,
Yeah.
you're plugging it in.
Exactly. Yep.
I have a hard time leaving it off when things like Bad Bunny are on there. But
Exactly.
I like it.
I
Yeah.
think that the list really kind of favors influence over content, I would say. And
That's a fair consideration.
not really sure what influence this album had.
Does the list recognizes talent though?
Yeah.
Is Justin Timberlake a unique talent when it comes to male pop music that deserves to be recognized? Because that's the other question that I have for you is, we're 115 deep into this list now, and how many male pop stars have we seen?
Harry Styles.
Smokey Robinson?
That's it.
I think you have to put it on if you're gonna put Bad Bunny on.
You have to put it on if you're gonna put, but you don't have to put Bad Bunny on. That's the thing. You don't have to do that. So,
But I mean,
but I think it does belong.
how many times did you hear "Sexy Back" on the radio?
Yeah, it's
And
in
it's
my
a
opinion-
huge, and that thing won awards, multiple Grammy awards. This album has won, right? Or these songs have won. So yeah, listen, I'm glad that you guys agree. I don't know where I would put it. I mean, especially based upon some other albums that are on this list, because for me, I wasn't disappointed by the back half of this album. I love Chop Me Up. I love Summer Love. I love Until the End of Time. And I
don't not love Losing My Way.
Losing My Way can suck a dick. But the last track is wonderful too. In fact,
the last track is great.
Losing My Way is the only track that I didn't put a star next to. And I actually openly mocked because it's fucking atrocious and it's just a terrible
cringy
song. Yeah. I mean, it's really fucking terrible. But
from the very first line, the first line is like, "Hi, my name is Bob. I do crack." It's something like that.
I know it's really,
I don't know what it is. It's not that exactly, but that's what it means.
It's cringy and terrible. So fuck it. But all that being said, to me, if this album fell somewhere between 400 and 450, maybe even 425 and 450, I think that's probably appropriate, especially given the, at this point in time, underrepresentation of male pop.
I think really anywhere between 4 and 5 for me,
Yeah.
I agree.
good with.
Just
It's
off
just
of
a really good album.
the sheer popularity of the singles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's undeniable,
exactly.
in my
Like
opinion.
Sexy Back and what goes around comes around. Yeah.
Fucking bangers, dude.
It's definitely one of the best albums of the 2000s, no doubt, as evidenced by its placement on the list. So, and the 2000s were a real decade. So it probably belongs in the best albums of all time. you know?
Absolutely. All right. Join us next week. Huge fucking show next week. We're gonna try and keep that shit reined in.
It's not going to be though. We're going to warn you now. It's probably going to be like a 5-hour episode.
No, it's not gonna be. We can't,
because it's going to be a 6-hour episode.
God damn it, JB. We're gonna try and keep it livable next week. So
It's going to be under 2.
thank you for listening.
So thanks, Riley. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Riley.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Loved having you. Listen, come by anytime.
We've
because
already
we
talked
clearly
about-
need a production manager.
Yeah, we do need that because we need that position filled because our old one, he
just left.
Yeah, he just left.
He just left.
Yeah, he just left town. We don't
He
know what
didn't
happened
tell
with
us.
that. But anyways, Riley, you're welcome anytime. And we've already discussed a couple episodes that you want to return for, and
Yep.
you're welcome, and you're going to be there for those.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
thanks, Riley.
Thank you.
Audience, look forward to seeing Riley again, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Goodbye.